Melvin's episode 10, the Big 10. This is a podcast where I sit down with music producers and I have conversations with them about their 10,000 hours. This episode puts a spotlight on Brandon Deshay. This guy is truly something special. It could be one of those situations where, you know, if you like hip hop, you know this guy's work, even if you don't know his name. Danny Brown, Mac Miller, The Underachiever, SZA, Chance the Rapper. Yeah, he's provided beats for them all. And if I could inject a little personal opinion here, even if it's an unpopular opinion, if all the bullshit with the labels and the business side of the industry didn't happen, he could have been what Cole and Kendrick are now. I'm not saying that those were his aspirations, but I think it all comes down to an artist's relationship with the label's executive at the end of the day. Kendrick's relation with Top Dawg is deep-rooted and personal. Similarly, Cole's relation with Hove. But saying that also paints a picture of him not being relevant or something, and it's quite the opposite. He's still a very young guy, and he's been pretty quiet over the years, and I wanted to get him on the show to talk about the industry side of things, and of course, as always, we're going to explore his story. So thank you to the new subscribers. Thanks for reaching out, the emails. I do appreciate it. And if you like this podcast, do me a solid and leave a review. A 5-star review. None of that bullshit 4-star business. It's 5 or nothing. I'm kidding. Rate with your heart. All right, go ahead. Episode 10. I'm your host, Cello, and
it's the Bedroom Beethoven Podcast.
How you living, man? How you doing?
Posting, man. Cooling. Watching a bunch of documentaries, actually.
Well, I wanted to start this off. I want to be honest with you, man. Let me tell you something. This podcast, it's a one-man show. It's just me. You know, no one's bought me yet. I don't have any sponsors. Basically, you know what I'm doing? I'm emailing people I'm fans of that I want on the show, and for you to respond, not just with a yes, I'll kick it with you, but I heard your show. It's dope, and I'll do it. Saying that you heard my podcast and you want to be a part of it, it made my month. And I just wanted to let you know that your little bit of kindness, it made a profound impact on me. It motivates me to keep going.
Oh, man, I'm glad I could be the catalyst, I guess, for some positive, emotion on your side, man. Because, it is dope. It is dope. And real talent, recognize talent. And you got a great podcast voice, man. I think you could definitely pull this off for real. You think you big shit.
To make it more special, this is going to be one of the first and last Brandon Deshay podcasts of 2019. Yeah. I want to give people a total overview of you because this chapter's closing, and because when 2020 hits, it's a new aesthetic, a new era is going to be born.
Yeah, this is actually realistically, it really could be the last maybe interview period actually. So, and it's not like I even plan it as like a press run kind of thing. So I'm just going to treat it as that, as just in case this is the last time.
It's a lot of pressure. I got to make sure this is compelling. All right. I know you're into anime. I want to give you a little quick snippet to let you know the type of guy I am. In college, I was in the anime, and for those that aren't up on that, I don't know if you are, but when an anime series was released, say a 12-episode series, they would release that shit in volumes. So like a 12-episode run would be spread across 4 volumes at like 3 episodes a DVD. And it would be like full price. So you would pay like $30.
Damn.
So then when like the first volume came out, it would be like the first volume and then the box, where if you bought future volumes, you could put it in and have like a box. So I was like, I'm not going to wait a year and spend like $80 per series. So what I did in college is I started an Asian film and anime film review site for the sole purpose to get on anime outlet review sites. So I got every Funimation, every Sentai Filmworks, every series, movies.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even that big into anime, but I literally have like 900 DVDs of series and films that I haven't even got to watch like 10% of it.
Damn, that is actually extremely clever on your part.
Yeah, I say I have like 10 grand worth of anime I haven't even watched, but yeah. But yeah, so that's not my motivation with this podcast. I mean, if you want to send me shit, yeah, I'm playing. But
man, I used to have a plug. I don't have it anymore. I used to have a Funimation plug. But once I kind of like fell back, that shit unplugged itself.
Yeah, so let's rewind the tape all the way back because before you got into music, I like to give people an overview, man. So what was it like growing up for you? Did you grow up around music a lot? Were your parents big into it?
My mom was a big listener, so she would do like on weekends. I remember like vivid memories of like her bumping like Anita and like Keith Washington and all those people, whatever, and Luther Vandross, like cleaning the house like on weekends. Like that was the thing on Saturday night. Like my dad, not even Saturday night. Let me just say Saturday. Actually, my dad will usually get up early, be out. Like he'd be out for the whole day, damn near. And my mom would get to cleaning, and I'd just be there, just trying to stay out the way. You know what I'm saying, or in my room doing my thing, and she'd be bumping music on the sound system because when my dad is home, nobody can touch it but him. But when he leave, my mom get to hear it in that HD pristine quality, bumping all her tunes. So yeah, it was like a big thing. And then when he's home during the week, of course, I would hear some stuff at nighttime, and he'd play his joints. And he actually sings still to this day. Sings in a church choir. So,
what was it? The cliche music, like like Motown or choir music? Because I mean, your taste in music goes all the way from like the Avalanches to Fleet Foxes to you know what I'm saying, like. Did your dad listen to something that maybe I wouldn't assume off the bat?
Well, yeah, because I mean, also, we're pretty, I don't know how old you are, but we're still pretty young. We're in our 20s still. So NWA, and I grew up on Scarface, and I grew up on, I don't know, yeah, that kind of stuff. My dad was like a big West Coast hip hop guy. So like Snoop, obviously, like Ghetto Boys, like that stuff, like South and West hip hop is what I grew up on. So
that's, what, my brain didn't even go there. That like, if my dad was listening to like NWA, I think I would just melt. That would blow me away because I'm just used to. I'm 33. I'm not that old, but I'm just used to dads listening to Herbie Hancock all day. And it doesn't.
Your dad, I don't know if he like Herbie Hancock. I know he listens to jazz. He listens to jazz though, yeah. But I don't know about Herbie Hancock though. He's cool though.
Yeah. Now, as like a young black kid in the anime and video games in high school, did you flip between diverse groups? Like, were you friends with the white skaters, the black rappers, the nerds?
Nah, but everybody knew me though. I was always popular, like in school. Now, I guess I was a funny kid, so like people always, and I used to just be, I don't know, also personable. I was never like treating nobody bad. I was always nice to everybody. So they used to call me Mr. President. I remember like all like the older kids used to always like, I was cool amongst my class because the older kids fucked with me because they was just like, yo, this dude's not scared. Like he's so he's Mr. President, man. We all know this dude. This is Brandon. So.
Yeah, I was always wondering if like maybe you took something away from each of these groups and amalgamated them into your designs and music. Because like I know the story about you just putting your music on MySpace, and I actually heard that MySpace lost like 17 years of music, so that's not a good look for them. But yeah, but you got FL, and it's this very anticlimactic story about how you found your God-given talent. And the really interesting thing is this happened at a time in any young man's life where he comes at a crossroads in terms of finding out what you want to do with your life. Because at 18, 19, here are the choices of an American male. You can delay college, find yourself, but waste time in the process. You could join the military, or you can say fuck it and sit on your couch smoking weed all day. So when you're 18 or 19, it doesn't matter what you're good at. You're still on the fence about whether or not to pursue music as full time. Tell me about that time, specifically what you were thinking. Like, were you at all concerned for your future post-high school?
Nah, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have any direction. I mean, and honestly, to this day, I still don't, because I always kind of lived by, I let life kind of, create the path for me. So even then, it wasn't like I was like doing like, oh shit, this music thing, this is everything to me. I didn't choose it. I didn't really even try, to be honest. I never have really tried. I just wanted to have fun, to be honest. And I saw with music, it was like, okay, like, so I'm to the point where people like me enough, so much that they want to pay for my music. And I'm getting these fans that are, all around the world. And I'm like, dang, like I'm having fun with this. Like, so if I just sell beats, or if I just record music, I can just have fun. You know what I'm saying? From here on out. So that was pretty much just the whole goal, is to have fun. So now it was never really a dilemma. I mean, in that sense, I guess I can say, take it back. The one dilemma I did kind of have was more so my major, actually, because I started out in biology, and though I was really good at it, it just wasn't fun to me once again. So that's the dilemma came in. Do I stay here and do the career path that makes the most sense? There's a lot of it's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress and it's just not fun. And the career that's going to follow is going to be just as unfun, or do I try to find something else that I can do, another path that is going to be fun?
Yeah, but most of the credits, like if we're talking like your big breaks, they came from relationships that you made with artists before they popped off, really. So you either have a lot of talented friends or you're the luckiest guy on the planet.
No, definitely the luckiest guy on the planet for sure. I just have a natural, I think, eye or ear for what's going to be something, what can be something. I've pretty much never been wrong. There's only like one, I can think of one artist that I was wrong about, but I wasn't wrong because that artist, though I knew they were talentless from the start, but I knew they always had great marketability and their appeal is dope. And to this day, I'm not going to speak of who they are, but they still do well off of just being who they are, even though their music is trash and it doesn't get any numbers at all. But, so I'm never wrong about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just all kind of been really lucky, I guess, in that sense though.
So, but 6 months in, you figured out a business model and started making money pretty fast. Can you tell me about that model and kind of how that worked?
We want to buy beats from you. I heard your beats on Currency stuff. I heard your beats you did for Dom. This is like early stuff because I started in 2008. And by like 2009, that's when like I started getting those kind of credits, like the people who had real followings and was doing real musicians. And then I was just like, oh man, like people asking me to buy beats. I'm like, I don't know how that works. I remember I hit up Illmind, who's a dope producer. But this is before all that though. So I remember hitting him up like, hey, I'm a rapper and I want to buy some beats. So how is this going to work? And so he kind of just sent me an email like, yes, man, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to send the money to here. I'm going to send you the beat. I'm going to send you a wave format. I'm blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, oh, bet, thanks, man. All right, I'm going to get right back to you as soon as I get my allowance or whatever, and I'm going to buy this beat. Once I saw how his system went, I just started doing that for myself. And then that's the same system that I use to this day.
Well, I mean, in 2019, do we still live in a time where you can hit up someone on like Twitter and they hit you back and they tell you to come through the crib and you just link up and make music?
I just did something pretty funny actually the other day. I don't know if you may not know. I don't know. Is he a porn star? Basically, I hit this porn star post on a whim, and I was just like, I wonder if. And I mean, maybe it's a little different now because I do have some bigger numbers online and I've verified mark. So maybe that has something to do with it. But this woman didn't know me. I'm not some like. I'm not a big deal. I'm not even relevant anymore. So it's just like I expect her to just come out of her body and just shout back like that. She's popping like so. I was like, damn. So I guess you can still just kind of shoot the right message. If you shoot the right shot, anybody will reply.
I know. It's funny. So the latest episode that I got right now is actually with a producer from Chicago, and I didn't set this up, but he said that his inspiration was fucking Streets of Rage 2, and that can't be a coincidence, man. Like, so what impact did these Japanese composers have? That because now if you look at like the Last of Us soundtrack or Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty, it's all handled in the US with like an orchestra and it's composed by Americans. Why was the 8-bit and 16-bit era Japanese composer era like dominated? Like what was so great about it that we can't go back to that?
I watched like numerous interviews on Yuzo Koshiro, who's the guy who did the soundtrack for Streets of Rage. It's just the whole, even the process of them creating that was magical. So it's just no duh. Like it's still magical for people who catch it, even if it is like 10 years later or whatever it is years later they find it's just magic. It was magic when it started. It's still magic. It's gonna always be magic.
Can we talk about the Joey Badass situation?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you got like 20,000 upvotes on Reddit. I know Vibe picked it up. It went viral. And for me, it's like it's 2019, and it's almost like now we're seeing a movement. I'm going to give you the floor. Can we get the whole story? Yeah. I guess, if you want to start at the beginning, go for it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually. I actually didn't even expect, like I said, once again, to even get that kind of feedback because, like I said, I'm not really relevant. And I actually was tweeting it, not extremely live, like not all the way live, but like kind of earlier before that. And like some people, like some of my main core fans, like saw like, oh, okay, he's working on something with Joey, trying to figure some things out. And I did that because I kind of I knew I wanted that transparency, and more so for the future producers and, say out there, so they might learn a lesson from this, whether or not it turns out fortunate for me or unfortunate. I wanted it to be transparent. So I tweeted originally like, hey, yo, me and Joy are working on something, like working on this thing for School High. It's been years since it dropped. Like, can y'all believe it? Like, and then like, okay, yo, Joey hit me back, you know what I'm saying, at this time, whatever, I was still waiting on this to happen. I'm like, okay, I ain't heard from Joey in a minute. So I was always doing it, but it didn't really go nowhere like big until I guess I put it on Reddit. And I guess because, you know, these kind of topics, these kind of issues, because, yeah, a lot of people rallied behind it and were just like, man, producers are really getting in the short end of the stick, like, and then they really like went to war. And once again, Joey is a bigger artist, and he's always talking about the positivity thing too, and like, you know, there's no reason to not like Joey pretty much, and I guess besides this. So I expect people to really like, not too much people to be on my side really. I expect some people more so to ask questions and, like I said, like maybe help me out a little bit. Maybe they might know somebody or have some better advice for me. It was more so for that.
Yeah, the reason why I was taken back with it is I always thought that it wasn't the artist's fault. I didn't know that they personally touched matters like this. I thought, they had no knowledge of stuff like this, and it was just like their third, once removed lawyer that handled stuff like this. But you're making it seem like Joey knew about this, and it was a conscious decision.
Yeah, it felt like I was just being ignored. That was the main other thing too. I was just like, oh man, like I tried. You guys, people don't even know, like, this has been going on since November, and I tried every way possible that I could to avoid having to air him out like that. Like if y'all saw the DMs, like it's literally at one point it's just a wall of me talking to myself basically, and him not replying at some point. Me hitting up his manager, me hitting up his label, me hitting up his distribution company, me hitting up his lawyer. Literally, I tried everything possible, his PRO, to not have to, like, to get him to talk. Like, yo, somebody talk to him. Somebody tell him to hit me back. Like, yo, this shit is, you can't do this. Like, this is not good business. Like, you have to address this. Like, and this is not my homie. I can't say that. I don't know about now, but I mean, even if I still have good, I see him in a good light, and I've only had good experience with him, and we have real memories together, like real actual homie memories together, like birthday parties and, saying regular little shindigs in New York and shit when I was living out there. Like, so it was just like, damn, like that's crazy that you would just violate by just ignoring me like this and not trying to like get this right. You didn't even, like really you should have did it before you put the shit out. Like that's how you're supposed to do it. Like that's how Mac did it. Mac just hit me beforehand, like months and months beforehand. I didn't know. I was like, damn, you gonna put that shit out or not? Because he heard about that paperwork. That was a minute ago. I still didn't see this mixtape drop. And then this tape finally dropped again. But I was like, damn, Joey, like, you know better than this. And you have my number. Like, we follow each other. Like, we just talked not too long ago.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that, like, Joey's manager reached out to you, too, while working on the project, because he had his ear to the street for this, like, this certain sound. And he really got away from like the boom bap. And I read, this was years ago, that he would scour YouTube looking for unknown beats so he could get like dope, cheap beats like Christ Conscious, which is why me personally, I became a fan of him originally.
Mm-hmm. That was a hot record. Video was dope too.
It's a hot record. And you know what? This is my podcast. I'm going to say it. Second album was trash. I didn't like one track on it. But what are you going to do? I just feel like he changed up the whole reason why fans like us like Before the Money. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. So did you reached out to the legal team? Has it been resolved or is it still ongoing?
It is still ongoing. I reached out to them. Like I said, I didn't get a reply. Actually, it wasn't until, and so I guess I posted it up, and actually one of the other producers off of one of his projects hit me up like, yo, I had the same situation happen to me. And I did the same thing. I hopped on Twitter and I just had to air him out. And then because of that, this guy hit me up and we ended up resolving it maybe about 3 months down the line from there. And he's like, you should hit this guy up. Maybe he'll be able to help you out with it too, whatever. And as soon as he gave me that contact, I had just went back on Twitter to kind of see where stuff was at. And in my DMs, the Pro Era Twitter account hit me up like, yo, this is so-and-so. It happened to be the same guy. Like, yo, like, what's your email? Like, saying like, let's talk. So, I gave my email address and we maybe exchanged 2 messages. It's like him like saying, like, yo, I'm going to connect you with this other person here, part of the camp. He's going to help sort all this out. And that person hit me up, was like, hey man, like, what are you, what are you looking to try to work this out? You know what I'm saying? And so I told him what I wanted as far as, what his options would be pretty much. And then he's like, okay, bet. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna get right back with you. I'm real patient. So I'm gonna give him a little bit more time, but like, so I haven't spoken on it since that day that I put it out because I've been waiting for a real update. I don't want seem like I'm being thirsty, like I'm not. I'm not even asking for bread. That's the thing. Some people are like, oh, you asking them for money to pay for the beat, but you giving the beat for free. Like, I'm not asking for, bro. I don't care about that shit. Like,
so a song is 50% vocal, 50% instrumental. Is the producer entitled to 50% publishing on a song? Is that typically how it goes?
Yeah, that is typically how it goes. And even on the writer side, because I had a writer's deal for a long time with BMG, and then even if you write something like, let's say me and my homegirl Star get together, we write a hit, whatever. It don't matter if she only gave up 6 words to the shit, like we still split that 50-50. So it's pretty much split 50-50 first, and then you start breaking shit down as far as participation goes. From there, like, you know, if there's some other artists, obviously that 50% of writers gonna get split now. It's 25-25 on their side, whatever, and I get the other 50%. But as far as the beat goes, if you're the sole producer, 50% off rip, unless, like I said, maybe you felt like, oh, I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt because he did tell me to add this synth line here, and this is, you know, that was like a pretty hot part. I'm gonna give him like 5%, or I'll give him like 10%, whatever. But this is me 100% doing the beat by myself and just being like, like not go rap on it. So I'm taking my 50% on both beats. Ain't no way around it.
So what do you do in a Acid Rap's case, since he gave that out for free? So if I release a project for free, okay, and I figure I'm going to make my money touring, or I'm going to make more money touring than collecting pennies on the dollar of my record, which more people are doing, how do the producers of Acid Rap get paid? Why would you want to give a free beat to a rapper who can use that to get rich and not you?
In that sense, it's just good for promo, really. And that's what it was even with Joey. Well, it was like promo, and I genuinely rock with Joey. Like, so it's like, oh, this dude is dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whether or not he puts it out for sale later, like, I don't really care. Like, he made a dope song off it, and it's good promo, whatever. Like, that's cool, too. But I got to help out an artist I actually genuinely like. And with Chance, it was like, it was kind of more so, I guess, like promo. Like, I haven't worked with too many Chicago artists, me being from Chicago. And he's a dope artist. I've heard his music before it got to that point, and I was like, okay, this dude's quality. Like, so it was in that sense, it paid off in a promotional sense. Because for sure, you know what I'm saying, people have definitely hit me up like, yo, can I get some beats? I love the Nana joint. Can I get some beats? I love it. So it worked out in that sense. And then now at this point, I'm pretty much just waiting on him to, you know, do the same thing Mac did, which they all end up doing at some point. I want to put the mixtape out as a streamable product or for sale product because the anniversary is coming up, or because people realize, or people don't really like my new stuff now, so I want to kind of give them a reason to rock with me again, remind them why they rock with me. Let me put this one out again. So I'm just waiting on that to come around. What you can do, though, as a producer is register the song with your performance right organization, and that way that whenever they do decide to put it out, the splits are taken care of and that part is done. So at that point, it's really nothing to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's already agreed upon pretty much at that point. So you want to make sure the splits are done. That's what gets everybody in trouble, myself in this situation and others, is the splits don't get done before it goes for sale, before it goes for stream. And that's when, like, it gets sticky.
Well, I want to use T-Pain as an example here because he made his whole career off him having to save artists. And then they turned his back on him. And back then, I mean, back in like 2008 through 2010, he was the musical Jesus.
Tell me, what do you see when you're looking at me? Whoa, whoa, whoa. On a mission to be what I'm destined to be. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I've been through the pain and the sorrow, the struggle is nothing but love. Nothing but love. I'm a soldier, a rider, a ghetto survivor, and all the above. All the above.
Slam the hook. And you good for a couple of years. And when it was his turn, most of those features were free. He didn't get paid a cent. He just wanted, like, hey, you know, get back on my shit, return the favor. And they didn't. Nothing was reciprocated. So, like, when they come back, they would actually charge him. And he'd be like, hey, man, remember what I did for you? Is that an issue of money, or is that an issue of respect, or a lack of, shall I say?
That's a little bit different because he's actually charging for features, and with the production, it's like, yeah, some producers charge for the beat, and I've charged for beats too sometimes, whatever. But the actual royalties part, he's eating off of royalties though. So though he might have done that feature and didn't get a cent from it, he's still eating off the royalties. He's still getting his mechanicals.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I was trying to loop it back. Like maybe it's not like Joey's not trying to pay you, maybe he's an asshole. I don't know. Maybe there's not a mutual respect.
I wasn't even asking for that. Like I straight up was just like, yo, I'm not even asking for bread for the beat. Like, you got two options. You can just do the splits for me properly and give me my royalties, or you can buy me out. I even say you can buy me out. Most people hate. They're like, that's an awful thing to do as far as selling your royalties, because they're like, once again, what if this song does get a sync or a license in some movie or something like that, and then you won't have any of that, whatever. But sometimes it's like, I don't know, you don't mind wiping your hands with the track, whatever. Like, there's some artists where I'm just like, I don't think this is gonna go nowhere, and if I'm wrong, then let me be wrong then. But and with this one, I gave him the opportunity just because of the headache that it's been. I'm just like, whatever is gonna solve this the quickest possible way, because I'm not gonna live and die off of School High and Last Cypher. I love those records. I'm gonna keep my credit on those, of course, whatever though. But if I didn't eat off the royalty, let's say it blows up tomorrow, gets $1 million, it wouldn't really be a big deal to me, to be honest, because like, I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, and the craziest part for me was like in that Reddit there, people were like, "Oh shit, that was you! You produced my favorite beat on that Danny. Oh, that was you on that Mac Miller. Oh, I had no idea that was you." And I'm like, "Man, do you need me to pass out flyers for you?" And I was.
The Shakespeare of 16s, dipping my ink pen. Made a sculpture of me, but my dick was too thin. Paint pictures of me, but they never get my chin. One writing scriptures, bringing tears to the princess. Every time I indent, you can see the intent.
I was so blown away that you're this amazing guy, this amazing producer, and yet people can't put the name to the beat. And I know that the goal, maybe not now, but maybe 5 years ago, it was always to have, oh, that's a Deshae beat. When you hear it, that's a Deshae beat, because I got this signature sound. But it seems like people have a hard time nailing that down. They love your music, but people are surprised, whereas like, oh, Pharrell, yeah, that's a Pharrell beat, like all day. Like, how do you feel about that? Did you struggle coming up with that signature sound, or?
Yeah, it's really, honestly, just having fun, to be honest. So yeah, I guess because I didn't take my career like all that serious to be like branding myself, I didn't have like a tag for a little minute, but I have my beat tag now or whatever. I've had it now for some time, but yeah, as far as promo goes, especially on the production side, I don't know. I didn't really put so much effort in. I didn't overthink it too much. I was just trying to have a good time, to be honest. My whole career is pretty much me having a good time. I've had a good time.
Yeah, I think that shows through with like the beat for Chance. It was simple, but it took off.
Yeah. It feels undeserving almost.
Well, I mean, I was listening to it and I was like, man, it's just like, it's simple, but like, I'm an artist and I get it. Like, but the question I have is like, well, what's the balance between loaded and simplicity? Because if I'm a painter and I do like some abstract work, how do I know when it's just one paint stroke over the line? Where is its effective in its simplicity?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite producer ever, obviously, Pete, you know what I'm saying? Skateboard Pete, like, Neptune's made some real simple type beats that were just bangers. And it seems that those are the ones that always travel the farthest because they're easier to digest. So, yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it if it's super loaded and it can be super dope, but it can also be super simple. It just depends on how it's executed. So, yeah, though I do feel a little bit like undeserving sometimes when the simple beats do so well like that. It's like I feel solid just in myself knowing that I know I can do more, and I can give an example of where I can do more, and so.
Yeah, I know Pharrell is, super mainstream and all, but what I want to say that I really dig about him is like he can do a simple beat like Mr. Me Too, but not give it to Britney Spears. He knows if I give it to a rapper to write the beat, it'll work. If I gave that beat to, on the Despicable Me soundtrack, it wouldn't have worked. So you're right. And you made you made the aliens fighting robots that 30 minutes, boom. And, first off, I dig the sample. I think it was an Avalanche sample. You freaked on the beat. That beat was a Nancy Wilson sample from a track called Tonight May Have to Last Me All My Life. And that was in 1964. See, a lot of you guys are just listening to Mac Miller and you don't realize that there's 50 years of artistry that is embedded in these beats.
Insane. I didn't know that, actually. You put me on game, so.
I'm used to like these labor intensive processes. Why was that? I'm going to single out that beat. Why was that so quick? Because there's a difference between a quick beat and a simple beat, right? Or is it?
I think so. Yeah, quick beat. Yeah, because sometimes like that beat was not simple at all. I don't think nobody in the world, including myself, could recreate that beat as is ever again. Like, because it was just certain things about that. Like this, even if I broke it down, like as far as like if I had the session file and I broke it down, like there's a lot of sounds in there. There's just, you won't notice them because they maybe during the mix. You know what I'm saying? So well, whatever. And learn certain like things that I just heard. Like, it wasn't there, but I heard it. And so I put it in there, like, so I feel like that beat was created by just that moment, just being there in that moment and having to perform, you know what I'm saying? Especially like when you're making a beat in front of somebody, it'd be like that sometimes.
Cool, man. So what are your goals moving forward? I know you've accomplished a lot over your career, but now you're doing more under your own name for this year. What is that going to lead to? Like, I know you said you have like one or two more projects and then the name's done. Like, what's kind of the trajectory?
I have a beat tape that's dropping very soon, or beat album. Sorry, let me say beat album dropping very soon with this label. I'm based out of Germany, and they're going to press up vinyls, which is cool. So I never had a Brandon Deshay vinyl album. I've been on vinyl albums, but I've never had a Brandon Deshay vinyl. So
I'm a vinyl nut, dude. I'll buy it. Is it going to be on black or is it going to be crazy colored and all that?
I don't got no holographic, you know what I'm saying, thing that's crazy sparkly like that or anything with the colors, but I think it's a powerful image, and it means the photo means a lot to me.
That's what's up. And
so that's going to be coming up first, and then I'm going to do one last like album for Brandon Deshay. And I'm trying to decide on if it should be, because I used to have a series I started out, used to be called Volume 1 for the money, and then Volume 2 for the show, Volume 3 to get ready. And then I was supposed to do a Volume 4 to go, obviously, being like my last mixtape leading up to something, but I never ended up doing it. Then I had another album, actually, it was called All Day Deshay AM, and it was supposed to end the series with All Day Deshay PM, but I never ended up doing that one either. So I'm like, should I end the PM series or end the volume series? So I don't know which one I'm going to do, or how I'm going to work that out, whatever though. But either
a lot of people were hoping for the Golden Child trilogy too.
And then there's that too. People like, Golden Child 3, and it's like it was supposed to be a trilogy, of course, but it's like it ended up just being a sequel. So I mean, I don't know how I might play that out. I might do something funny just to like kind of run off of that, whatever. But either way, it'll be one last more project, and then I can finally just say, "Whew, no more Brandon Deshay, I'm done."
That's cool, man. Well, you've been quiet in 2018, so I want to play a little game. What record last year, or in like the last 15, 16 months, you were really impressed by?
Let's see, because now actually, and this is why I also think that whatever's going to happen next for me will be the best it's ever been, because this is the first time in a long time since I've been like 17, 18 that I can say I've just been a fan, or like just a fan of music, a fan of YouTube, a fan of memes, a fan of pop culture, not looking at it from I don't fuck with that dude because, or that chick, this, that, third. I know that person, straight up just being a regular fan. So I've been ingesting a lot of music as a fan, a lot of cinema, whatever, a lot of media in general. And I can say I was really, but the person that I would say the album, I'm trying to think, this is hard to pick, man. This is hard to pick. There's been a lot of really good projects. I don't think music is suffering at all.
Well, that's why I'm glad I asked you that generic question about, hey, what's your favorite, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, okay, you're now finally a fan, and you did, after like 10 years of bullshit, ups and downs, you're not jaded by the industry, and you can still appreciate music. You still want to be in music. You're not driving in an Uber. Like the next chapter, the new aesthetic, the new era is coming. And I'm still a fan of yours. I'm going to continue to follow your career, and I'm just really happy to hear that.
Thank you, man. I think my struggle that is now, another reason why I want to shake Brandon Deshay off is like obviously go back to P. I can't even have a conversation without talking about Pharrell at least once, because I really admire him.
Right.
If you look at it like, okay, so at my age, I might be 29 in like 2 months now, a month or something like that, whatever. So I might be 30 down there. So it's like, all right, what was P doing when he was 30? I wonder. Like, and sometimes I feel like I'm too old to be doing stuff. I should be doing something else. I shouldn't be doing music. But then I gotta remind myself, like, yo, P is by 30 probably like. There's still a lot that he hadn't done yet. So I'm like, you know what, man? Like, maybe I just do something fresh and new. But like that, if I feel like I outgrew Brandon Deshay, then let me be something brand new as something else. But like, I don't. Clearly, it's still a lot more life to be had in music. And it's like being in your late 20s or your early 30s is like far from over. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is a matter of as long as you stay in it, whatever. I would not be driving no Ubers. I will still be recording. You know what I mean? Like, and if nothing blow up big, whatever, I'm going to keep trying to, like, just, you know, staying fresh and reinventing myself and having fun more than anything else. Just keep having fun. I think that's what happens. Niggas just stop having fun.
Well, I think the thing is like, I think everybody would want at least 1/100th of Pharrell's success as a producer. And he didn't really hit mainstream until Happy came out. Think about all the hits, all the chart toppers, all of the executive produced albums, and it was that track that put him on Oprah and Ellen, and now my mom knows about him.
That's Pharrell too, you know what I'm saying? Because he's had like you said, he's had projects before then, and it's just they just didn't hit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't hit like that. The beats, yeah, sure, whatever, the writing for sure, but he never had it on for himself. And of all the records, it's like you said, it's Happy. And this man must have been at least 44 years old when that shit dropped.
Right. I mean, you're 20, 29, about to be 30.
Yes.
It would be an understatement if I said your best years aren't ahead of you.
Exactly. There was another reason why, like I said, why I idolize him still, because it's like he's a living example of it's never too late. Like him, Marshall Mathers, you know what I'm saying? Eminem got his first deal, I think, when he was like 26, 27. It's like, look what he's done since he's turned 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, oh man, nah. Like, even though if I'm tired of Brendan Deshay and I'm tired of all that shit I was doing, then I got to do something else. But I have to do something else though. I can't just not do it.
I know you got the bars. Is there? We can kind of cap this off. Is there anything off the dome you want to spit for us before you conclude?
I was screaming, God, where you at? I look up in the sky and I know you staring back. And I show the reason why you had me here. In fact, rare and black, derelict. Guess being blessed is where I lack. If all I got is my nuts, I'm lucky to have a pair intact. I'm starting troubles at home. I'm having troubles at school. That type of shit'll make it hard to fall in love, but it's cool. Behind these glasses and these watery eyes, I hope I see the signs. Ain't one for wasting time. I'd rather let the blind lead the blind. While most of these niggas follow in line, I got my own mind, so I'm following mines. I won't swallow shit. I'd rather kiss my brain with a hollow tip. This wisdom couldn't fall from Aristotle's lips. I never won the politic, never the model kid, constantly out of it. They dreaming of being a ruin. Pharrell got me constantly sick. Questioning God, no, I gotta repent. It took a lot to just acknowledge this shit. I'm popping, now she wanna polish the grip. Bukaki in a new Bugatti and dip. Finally got the key and now he fucking with a locksmith. Was a good boy, now he going bad. Made it out alive and I ain't going back. Getting bored of boarding planes, throwing bags, fall asleep and balling in a foreign jag. I hit the stage, I'm feeling highly elated. If I saw my brother feeling highly sedated. People probably wondering how they related. Nigga, we made it. We pulling bunnies like it's magic. We count money and we laughing. But don't get it twisted. Far from riches, bougie bitches blowing kisses when we passing. Put that on the green like we golfing. She blew the top like a dolphin. Bury me with a bitch in my coffin. You won't never see me often. I don't listen while you talking. I don't listen while you talk. These spineless niggas trying to walk. They love when I fuck up a check. Spend it, cash and the rest. Spend it, invest like a chest. Yes, nothing more, nothing less. Naruto said the best. Question your belief, it'll be over. Never tripped to finish last, cashing every single chip that's on my shoulder. The city got me growing colder. I'm more than happy to admit it. Wake up every morning, know I gotta get it. I'll be damn down with a Honda Civic. Fine fountain full of youthful water flowing from a spigot. Got me vamping like a misfit. Thoughts to end it with my wrist slit. You put up my mind, I don't want to stop. Think it's over when I know it's not. Fans is feeding for some motor drop. Always stop me for the photo op. Haters probably say it's Photoshop. 4 a.m., hit the store and cop. Couple Red Bulls for the nights I wake up in a cold sweat. Dream of life, living no stress. I just work it out like a Bowflex. When my time comes and it's all said and done, what I'm going to find next. Know that even if I never get the praise, I'm going to die knowing I'm the best.
Name me another music producer that can rhyme Aristotle's lips in politics. That's just fire.
Love, yeah. That's a big shout to Doom for the inspiration.
All day Deshay, man. I appreciate your time, man. You're a good man. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you.